There were all of these little things that came together in a way that just was off.
We took her to the pediatrician, a lot of tests happening, and we're just trying to figure it out. They just were stumped.
And we took her to different doctors. We took her to, orthopedics, and then it was time, and then it was 18 months. And we had to go to the neurologist.
That's when things changed. I'm Luke Rosen, and I'm Susannah's father.
I'm Sally, Susannah's mom.
Susannah has KIF1A, associated neurological disorder, and what that is it's a very rare disease caused by a mutation in her KIF1A gene.
She has a movement disorder. She gets around differently, needs braces to help her walk, and she suffers from seizures.
Susannah's disease is not just rare, it's degenerative. So it gets trickier and trickier every single day.
There's nothing like the word degenerative to just pop any kind of bubble you had going.
It is just incredibly hard to be a parent in this situation. It feels sometimes like the weight of the world is on your shoulders.
Wendy Chung is our Sherpa,
I think of myself as a Sherpa.
helping us up this KIF1A mountain. On that day when Dr. Chung told us about Susannah's diagnosis, the question was, okay, well, how do we go find treatment? And Dr. Chung said, we gotta find 100 kids, and we have to learn about the disease. And Sally and I made a decision to devote our lives to figuring it out.
I mean, Susannah's not just our child, she's our life's work.
2 years ago, while people thought there was just, 20 to 30 people with this disease in the world, we've since, just in 2 years, found, a couple of hundred.
One of the things we realize about KIF1A is that it's not nearly as rare as we might think it is. So we can see just over the past 3 years that we've really been watching the numbers grow.
Every day, a mom or a dad is reaching out and calling us and saying, hey, my kid just was diagnosed with this disease too, and we have similar problems.
It's a club that is one of the most amazing, caring, nurturing, supporting families, extended families that I know of.
I tell families when they call us and tell us that they've just been diagnosed with this disease, you have to contact our researchers and be involved in the research, otherwise our kids are going to die.
KIF1A has no treatment. It has no treatment, it has no cure, it has nothing other than symptomatic relief right now, and we know that left to its own devices, it will kill our children.
And now I wake up every single morning and my goal is to try to understand the drug development process and try to make it faster. We know that our kids with KIF1A have 3 sort of pillars of challenges: seizures, movement disorder, and optic nerve atrophy and vision problems.
KIF1A is a motor. It's like I think of it as a train going along train tracks. We literally see on a molecular basis a motor, the kinesin or the KIF1A, moving along the train tracks. Is the problem that it's going too slow? Is it a problem that it gets stuck? But we can use that now to be able to think about how we can get the train moving along again.
The research team, they're developing what's called a natural history study. And what that is you have to understand a picture of the disease.
Understanding the natural history, being able to see what the rate of decline is, if we can make any stabilization.
Understanding when those milestones get hit and when we start losing certain functions of the brain is really important for the researchers.
And incredibly important to get that right now, because at this point, even though we don't have a clinical trial, if we know in general that the slope is like this, and if I can have a medication that makes the slope like this, then to me that's a positive outcome.
It's hard to watch. Our kids' lives are so hard, and it's hard to watch things get worse. I'm never going to get to dance with my daughter at her wedding.
We are trying to buy time, and the best way for us to buy time is to do many things in parallel to try and just make them big in size so we can be short on time.
She is making herself our expert because we needed one.
The most amazing thing is that I don't do this alone at all. I do this with our families, and I do this with our scientific family as well. Incredibly talented people who are brilliant, but they are also some of the most dedicated, kind, loving people you've ever met.
This team of Wendy's, their work lives are dedicated to making our entire lives better.
With these rare diseases, there is no industry standard because they're not standard diseases, and so it's up to us and it's up to the families to work with the rest of the scientific community to create that industry standard.
We know we don't have an infinite amount of time to do this, and to be honest, these kiddos are our family. We have fallen in love with them. We have hugged them. We've played with them. They are our extended family. And we care about them just like we do our own children.
By having an understanding of both the science and the kid, I think, and I hope that that's the recipe for discovery. Yeah.
Nothing could be more important than finding treatment. And it has to happen now.